So in this video, we're talking about when, if you're dating someone, do you become exclusive? Is that something the man or the woman should initiate? How long does it take before you become exclusive? Is it something that just happens, or do you actually talk about it and reach an agreement? We're covering all of that today in this video. Hi, I'm Jeff Campbell from DivorcedParentsClub.com. I'm on a mission to help other divorced people navigate the troubled waters that we often find ourselves in after a divorce, whether that's dealing with a toxic ex, parenting tips, dating tips, you name it. I cover it on this channel. So before we talk about when to become exclusive, let's talk about just dating in general. And is it okay to date multiple people at the same time? I've looked at a lot of forums and I've seen a lot of people that were critical of the idea of dating multiple people at the same time. I want you to date multiple people at the same time. I don't want you to be dishonest. I don't want you to tell your one person that you're exclusively with them and seeing other people on the side. That's not what I'm talking about. But when you're just casually dating, especially if you after a marriage or a long-term breakup or something like that, you don't necessarily know what kind of person you're going to click with. You don't know yet what you want. And the only way you're going to find that out is by dating multiple people, seeing different pros and cons of different kinds of people, and weeding out the ones that aren't a good fit for you. And you can't do that if you're just dating one person at a time. Especially, a lot of people tend to, if they've just come out of a breakup, they tend to want to jump back into something to fill the void, that pain that's inside of them. I don't want you to do that. That's one of the key reasons that I waited almost a year after my wife asked for a divorce before I started dating. I waited until I had processed all of my feelings and gone through all of the stages that you go through after a big breakup like that. But I do want you to date multiple people casually and not committed to any one person and not lying to anybody. But that's the only way you're going to kind of get a good feel for who it is that you really want to be in a relationship with when a relationship develops from one of those people. The next question I saw is 1 month too soon to be exclusive with someone. And really, in my opinion, the answer is yes. You don't want to become exclusive after only 1 month. That's 4 weeks. And in many cases, at least for the first couple of weeks, you're only going to be going on one date a week with that person. That's just not enough time to really see who they are, what they're about. People can, as Coach Corey Wayne says, hide who they are for up to 90 days. In other words, you got to wait at least 3 months before you really get to understand who that person is, what they're all about, and whether or not they're a good fit for you. You can't gauge that in 1 month. So if you are dating multiple people, you decide this person's it, you stop dating all the rest, you commit to them after only 1 month. What happens a month or two from now down the road when you realize that they're really not a good fit? You got to start all over again. So there's no need to do that. Doesn't mean you can't weed out some of the other people along the way and maybe focus more and more and more on one person, but don't become exclusive after just 1 month. And bear in mind too, that if somebody wants to become exclusive with you really quickly, that's kind of a red flag. It means that they're needy or clingy, maybe codependent, or maybe they just got out of a long-term relationship and rather than heal from that relationship, they just want to immediately replace the person that they lost with you. And you don't want that because that's not building a new relationship on a solid footing. Take your time. Don't skip this step. Make sure that this person that you're going to commit to eventually is the right person for you. In most cases, that's going to be waiting at least 3 months. Hey, if you're liking this video and you want to see more videos like this, please hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and the bell notification button too. That way you get notified of future videos just like this one that I put out. And then YouTube's going to show you more content like this one, so that helps your feed. It also helps me grow my channel as well. And if you have a comment or something you'd like to see in a future video, leave me that down below as well. So if you haven't talked about it yet, but you think maybe you are exclusive with this person that you're dating, how do you know? What are the signs you want to look for that you're exclusive even if you haven't talked about it? Now, I will quickly share a story. I've been dating just one woman now for maybe, we've been going out for a little over 2 months, and I'm no longer seeing any of the other women that I was dating when I first started dating her. But we haven't talked about being exclusive with one another yet. We haven't had that conversation. But I'm not seeing anybody else, and I don't think she is either. And there are some signs that I've seen that I'm about to go through that basically spell out that, yeah, we're exclusive even if we haven't really come to that agreement yet. So what are those signs? First of all, if you've met any of their family or friends. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean all of their family and friends, but if you've met some of them, that's a good sign that they like you enough to entrust you to introduce you to people that are important to them. Next is if you're making plans for the future. Maybe you're talking about doing a trip together or a weekend getaway, or maybe you're talking about going to a music festival 6 months down the road. If there's any level of that discussion, clearly they see a future with you, and that's a good sign that they want to be exclusive with you. Next is, maybe you're not seeing them daily, but if you've been seeing them for any length of time, like the woman that I'm seeing, we're now seeing each other 3 or 4 times a week. Initially, it was just once a week, but now we're seeing each other multiple times a week, but we're texting every day. And typically I wait for her to text, but we're exchanging text messages, sometimes calls, but often text messages throughout the day, every day. And that's another really good sign that you are exclusive, is when there's constant communication. And lastly, the sign, and this is another sign that I'm seeing with the woman I'm dating, is you actually say, I love you. She said it to me first, and now we say it to each other regularly. And that's just part of our banter. That's part of our connection. And it is a sign, even though, again, we haven't discussed it, it is a sign that she wants to be exclusive with me and that I want to be exclusive with her. So should the guy wait for the woman to ask if they want to be exclusive, or should you initiate it as the guy? And the answer here is that the guy should not initiate this. The woman needs to be in the driver's seat. It's not masculine. And remember, in most cases, women are going to be in their feminine, guys are going to be in their masculine. And it's not masculine to be like, hey, I was wondering, if maybe you want to be my girlfriend and, you want to be exclusive with me. That's not masculine behavior. So don't behave that way. Your job as the man is to make her feel safe, heard, and understood. And what do I mean by that? Well, make sure that, if she's talking to you, that you're actively listening to her. You're not just waiting your turn to talk. You're repeating back some of the things that she's telling you. You're letting her know that you are hearing what she's saying and that what she's saying is important to you. Maybe days later, you're occasionally bringing up things that she said in previous conversations. That tells her that she is important to you and that you value what she has to say. Making her feel safe can be any number of things. It can be physical safety. Maybe you're, walking on the outside of her when you're walking next to the street. That way you're walking next to the cars. It could be physical safety. It could be making sure that, you walk her to her car. If she has been at your house or your apartment and she's parked a little ways away, you're walking her to her car at night. You're not just letting her go. So physical safety, but emotional safety also. What do I mean by that? It means not getting into arguments, not losing your shit, not getting all uptight or jealous or butthurt when she doesn't text you back immediately or you have a disagreement about something. I'll give you an example. The other night, the woman that I'm seeing, we were watching a TV show, and it's a TV show that she really likes, and she doesn't like a lot of TV shows. And it was late at night. We'd had a fair amount to drink, and we were cuddling on the couch, and I dozed off a little bit. And that made her mad, but she didn't say, hey, it really hurt my feelings when you fell asleep watching one of my favorite shows that I wanted to share with you. She didn't do that. Instead, she just changed her behavior, and she, turned her back to me, and she started getting on her phone a lot and texting people and basically, if I'm being honest, behaving in kind of a passive aggressive manner. And I don't fault her for that. I've engaged in that kind of behavior from time to time as well. But I could have gotten all butthurt about it. I could have gotten angry or lost my shit or whatever. Instead, I was honest with her. And he's like, hey, I noticed a shift in your behavior, noticed a change in your energy. She denied it the first couple times I asked her about it, but then I gently kept prying until I could get her to open up and talk about what she was feeling. And she acknowledged eventually that was what she was feeling. It was kind of obvious to me, but it's good to open her up and get her talking let her emotions out. Again, make her feel heard and understood. Once she got to that point, then she was over it. And we reached that point through rational, calm, centered, grounded discussion on my part. So that's what you want to provide also. Again, make her feel heard, safe, and understood. Then wait for her to come to you and say, hey, what are we doing? Are you my boyfriend? Are we exclusive? Are we in a relationship? Where are we going? Let her ask those things or make those statements. She may ask the question, or she may just assume that and want to clarify it with you. When you reach that point where she's coming to you, then of course it's okay to tell her, yes, I would love to be your boyfriend. I do want to be in a relationship with you. I do want to be exclusive with you. But let that be her idea. So I mentioned masculine and feminine energy a little bit ago, but what happens if the guy tries to rush things? If the guy is quick to try and push her into a relationship, or the guy's pushing to label whatever it is that they're doing and pushing her to be exclusive or whatever? Well, first of all, it can make the guy seem needy and desperate. Those are unattractive qualities. And unless the woman is codependent or, emotionally unstable, that's going to push her away. And especially if she's still dating other people, it's going to push her towards one of those other guys that she's dating. So you don't want to engage in behaviors that are going to push her away. And that includes trying to rush her and pressure her to label what it is that you're doing. And going back to what I said earlier about making her feel safe, heard, and understood, when you're behaving in a feminine way, which is kind of what it is when you're kind of needy and clingy and desperate and trying to, pressure her into a relationship, it can make her feel unsafe. And again, that's going to shut down her emotions. It's going to cause her to withdraw from you. And more importantly, she's not going to trust your masculine core. Now, she's not thinking these things logically. She's not going to go through a logical thought process and think these things out. It's just going to evoke an emotional reaction in her, and it's going to be an emotional reaction that is not in your favor. So you don't want to do these things. If you keep doing these things, if you keep putting pressure for her to commit to you or to label what it is you're doing or to be in a relationship or become exclusive, if you keep putting pressure on her in that way, she's going to stall and resist at first, but then she's eventually going to break up with you because you're just moving faster than the pace at which she's comfortable with, and you're making her uncomfortable, and you're going to drive her away. And again, if she's still dating other people, you're going to drive her right into the arms of somebody else. And right now there could be two guys, you and somebody else, that are maybe on equal footing, and whoever displays the highest level of masculine qualities is the one that's ultimately going to win, and you want that to be you. So the key takeaways from today's video are: you never want to become exclusive after a few weeks or even after a month. In most cases, you're going to want to wait 3 months before you become exclusive. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big discussion, so if you haven't had that discussion, if you're the guy, wait for the woman to bring that up. Don't be in the driver's seat for that. But you can look for some of those signs that we talked about in the video, that she is basically seeing you as her boyfriend and is exclusive with you. But if you want to have a conversation about it, make sure you wait for her to bring it up first. Anyway, I hope this video is helpful for you. I'll see you in the next video.